Hi, Graham Bloxham. I'm asking the tough questions. I can put on the charm and I can ask the tough questions for Hotline with One Network Wellington Live. We've stepped up our production quality. I'm sitting here right now with myself, and I'm going to ask some tough questions so you don't have to. And quick interview here with myself. I do have Len Baldwin here, the culinary manager of Star Group, and I tell you what, they make a few meals, and I walked in via the kitchen downstairs. It was very impressive. Welcome into the show, Len.
Yeah, welcome here, Graham. Good to have you here. You can see our operation down there where from this prep kitchen, we do the mise en place, the preparation work for around about 60 pubs around New Zealand.
Wow.
Mainly Auckland, Wellington.
Yeah, that's a lot of diners, a lot of cash flow, a lot of chefs. You must have many chefs.
Yeah, I think kitchen staff were up around, I would guess, 500-600 kitchen staff across the group. Operating from just your most basic suburban pubs to upmarket pubs throughout New Zealand.
So you've got restaurants on the waterfront like Foxglove.
Yeah,
and the other pubs, just look at that pub with 4 or 5 different pubs and dining angles. What do you call them these days? Genres? When you have all these different pubs, what do you call them?
What do we call them? Genres? No, probably concepts. Different concepts. You know, we have the Master Kong, which is our Asian fusion, to Rosie's, which is our Californian street food, Good Brothers, which is a New Zealand take on Italian pizza pasta.
Have you got a hip hop, sort of jazz hip hop restaurant coming on stream? Are you always bringing new products on board, or? I haven't got to the tough questions yet, so I'm taking the mainstream media non-stop for mainstream media head off.
Hip hop pubs, I guess. Rosie's is well known for, hip hop music in the background. We have Lucy's on Cuba Street, which is sort of a American style diner. Yep.
Tell me, let's just go back to you starting as a cook, as a chef, or a person that liked food or eating. Does it start with eating and then it goes to taste, and then it goes to... And then it goes, I can, but that's okay. That's okay, Len.
Yeah.
That's all right. We can touch you up with the green screen.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
and so you started when?
In the mid-80s. So I did my apprenticeship at a place called Casey's and Plymouth House. My head chef that I did my apprenticeship under was Mark Limericker, one of the owners of Bottega, the owner, and with Davey and his crew in there. He was also a close friend, and the other head chef at the time was Paul Hother, who from Charlie Noble, I guess. Is probably
so do you keep your you got into food, you got taught by some gnarly dudes who are still around. Shout out to those leaders in the culinary community, I suppose. And then you've come into this, 2 Upper Hutt boys started Kapura, and they went through some wild stuff. They then sold it. One of them's gone into making bread. God knows where the other one is. But and then you've gone from a hard-working dude into running 60 pubs food. I mean, that must give you the shits.
Well, it's a lot to take care of, but it's also...
I can't even do my backyard.
It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a challenge, especially the last couple of years has been pretty challenging. But I love the challenge.
But look. This is the year of yes, however, or yes, but. Where you look. Okay, it's been a challenge. It has been a tough couple of years, and there's no taking it away. But what? Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into the real questions. Why are food prices so bad in Wellington? Is it the supply? Is it an efficiency? I see the good team down there cutting things up.
Supply is a bit of an issue at the moment, especially red meat. I deal with suppliers on a daily basis, and I guess for a hospitality group, we buy a fair bit. I buy by the pallet, which gets me probably pretty good pricing. But at the moment, in the last year, I can honestly say when I first costed the menus, we were looking at around $17 a kilo for sirloin, your basic steak cuts, where that's up to anywhere around 22.
Isn't that a lack of your ability to negotiate, though? force those suppliers down? Are they dictating to you?
What's the big player in the market is, I think a lot of it is export. These guys are getting an extra few dollars a kilo. I've heard through the grapevine that America are just buying sirloin and putting it through the grinder, which is a steak cut for us, just to try and feed the beast. So land prices have never been so expensive as what they are right now.
Isn't Star Group big enough to do their own growing and buy their own farms and things like that? There's a farm out in Mungaroa and Upper Hutt. Why don't you just go and buy a farm, get some calves going and grow them yourself?
Well, growing up in a farming community, I understand it's a little bit difficult unless you know what you're doing. So we'll stick to our knitting, which is hospitality, and trying to provide great hospitality and let the farmers keep doing their good job. And I can appreciate if they're getting the good money overseas.
So you're going to let the suppliers off with it?
No.
They just tell you what they want. They go, I'm putting milk up today. You take it. You pass it on to us, the consumer. I'm sure you're a consumer too. And that pisses me off.
I can understand the frustration.
No one's going out, mate. And if they are going out, they're not spending $75 each. They're spending $15. The government departments can't afford it. Surely you're going to get in there and drive it down. Is there someone in the industry that's got some credibility and balls like you've got in productivity to drive the bloody prices down? Or are we hostage?
I would say at this stage we're still hostage to what's going on out in the wider market. We're probably, when it comes to hospitality, we'd be one of the bigger players, but still we're only small. Yeah. When you deal with meat companies who deal in the billions basically, and we only deal in the hundreds of thousands, the millions, then we're really too small to make a difference. They're really looking at the export rather than the local market.
What's the biggest selling dish in Wellington?
Well, really probably our biggest selling dish for us is still the beef burger. People still, the beef burgers, it's fish and chips, it's all of that good pub grub that we grew up with. And you know, we get creative and you have a few star dishes in there, but you know, the safe dishes are still I'd say the beef burger across all of our pubs is our number one seller, closely followed by things like fish and chips and your basic pub food.
What about an apple pie?
Yeah, we sell a lot of apple pie. Yeah, apple pie, the pecan pie, just those basic, you know, desserts. Because we're playing to the wider market.
Yes,
that's what Star.
Oh, of course.
We're not trying to play in that top 5%.
You look like you've had a couple of apple pies.
And a meat pie as well. Yeah, I like a good meat pie.
When was the last time you had a pie?
Actually, probably when I was over in Melbourne at Christmas. I went to a place that apparently was the best gourmet pie in Australia, so I had to have a couple.
Was it pretty good?
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah.
Light pastry. Now, what we'll do is I'm just going to go into 5 quick questions.
Yep.
And who does your bed?
I do it myself.
Do you?
Yeah.
Save money, keep costs down?
Yeah, absolutely.
How often do you keep that down? Do you get into that every day? Or?
No, just every 3 to 4 days.
Second quiz question. How many eggs in an omelette?
I personally 3 when I'm selling them, but for myself it's 5 to 6.
So you invented the beef Wellington. We had you into social cooking once. We had a bit of a look at your beef Wellington. That's how we met. It was absolutely magnificent. What's your favourite dish?
Yeah, probably still my signature dish is always going to be that beef Wellington, which I didn't invent, but I was pretty good at it. We back in the day when I had tasting room, we were well known for our beef Wellington.
Third question, second to last. What school did you go to?
Kuranui in Greater was my college, and obviously Martinborough. I grew up in Martinborough, so I just went to a local school there.
Do you think I could de-skin 3 cloves of garlic faster than you?
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Tune in for this, because I'm going to take you through a culinary and kitchen odyssey where I'm going to take Len Baldwin, the head chef of 60 restaurants with Star Group, which is an incredibly competitive game and an amazing company, Star Group, and the wider brewery. When I talk about that organisation, I just remember Monteith's and other beers like that. And when I had a company, I had a partnership with DB and Monteith's, and they were just such a delight to work with DB. And competitive, fair, generous. How much of hospitality is about being generous?
It's all about those connections, the staff, the management, knowing people, knowing your regulars, which when I owned pubs, it was all about building those connections with people. Hospitality, that's why it's called hospitality. It's all about hospitality, building connections, making sure people feel like they're being looked after, and we're trying to give people a great night out.
Notice how I've drawn Len into a mood of happiness and comfortable for the fifth question. Now, the fifth question is, Len, when did you first fall in love with yourself? When did you get your confidence? When was that young, or did you discover your confidence later in life?
I think I was confident young. I've taken a few knocks over the later years in life, but I was very confident in probably when I left Europe, worked on big cruise ships and came back to New Zealand in '96. I was full of beans and ready to take on the world.
So you got your confidence in your 20s, 30s. You're now in a phase of your life where you've got lots of staff, a tough market, a really tough market. And when I think about that, I think about late nights and problem solving and always fixing shit that's breaking down. Obviously, if you've got your system going well and you've got a great team, you're prepped, and the prior preparation prevents piss poor performance, the 6 Ps. That if you get it really humming, do you still get those big hits, those big disasters where the poo comes out on the floor and from a blocked up drain?
Yeah, it can still happen. It happens to anybody. It's just law of averages. It's always going to happen somewhere at some time, and when you have as many outlets or venues as we do, things still go wrong. But
what about alcohol and district licensing laws and the police and things like that?
I think we're so well structured where we have the right people in the right place that we don't really have any issues with it.
So we won't see you down in Courtney Place at the Courtney Accord meeting with the sergeant saying, "Stop staring at my bar."
No, it's not. No, that's above my pay grade. That's we've got people in the company who deal with that if they have to. Yeah.
Excellent. Do you have a tipple?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Are you a 4X? You'd be a Jimmy Barnes guy, wouldn't you? A bit of a 4X sitting on the beach drinking rocket fuel.
I'm a bit embarrassed to say I'm a bit of a gin guy these days. Not so much the beer man.
Indeed.
I look like I drink plenty of beer, but I really enjoy my gin.
Well, when you're in food and cooking and delicacies like that, you do have to try you get amongst it. And when I got rid of that cooking business just before COVID, shout out to Social Cooking, it's still going in Auckland. It took me about a year to stop unpacking the food in my mind, because it becomes a food, taste, action, thought, experience, and happiness. It sort of goes through that cycle. So you're and you get hit up very often to come work for other companies, do you get asked to talk about your skills?
Yeah, I do. I probably went through that stage over the last 10 years with having kids who are pretty much growing up and lots of families around. It was mainly kids watching TV, cooking shows, and that were interested in getting into hospitality and perhaps becoming chefs. So I've spoken a lot to, that age group. Why would you want to be a chef? Why not? And all the rest of it. And it all comes back to pretty much, I think it was Mark Limecker said to me when I was a teenager, why would, do you love it? Because if you don't love it, you're really putting yourself out there in a job that is so tough when all your friends are out partying, having a good time. And I loved it, and I've always loved it. And I actually can't see what else I could have done in life. I was very lucky to have found a job, to have been passionate about something that I could, work at doing, get paid to do.
That's how I feel when I wake up and look at myself every day. Well, that was Graham Bloxham asking the tough questions so you don't have to. Today I'm here with the man, the chef, the cook, the community person, and an admired Wellingtonian, who's, I've forgotten his name, and we're actually Len Baldwin, and we're filming on I'll show you what we're filming on, because it's actually a beauty. Here's our film set up, and just a bit of a look around the room. We've got Len's gumboots and obviously probably some cookbooks. Bit of a shot of whiskey up there, a date, a calendar, and back to Len. So, yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Passionate as hell about supporting culinary experiences and hospo businesses, driving those bloody prices down.
Yeah, well, we wish we could. At the moment, there's no relief in sight when it comes to pricing.
Not even hand relief.
Who knows?